Hello, I'm Pam,
I'm John.
and we're not done yet.
No, we're still going strong.
Yeah, every day is another day.
That's right.
My departed husband would always say, better living through chemistry. That was one. And the other was, another day above ground is a good day. And actually now he's on my dresser, as you probably have heard before.
No, he's still above ground.
Yeah, he's still above ground. That's right. Well, we're going to talk about places and their importance in our lives. How does that sound to you?
Sure, let's go with it.
Okay, I'm going to read a little passage to get us all in the frame of mind to have a meaningful conversation. This is from a book called The Spiritual Activist. And I used to use it in my work with staff trainings. Okay, and I didn't work in a place that was of a spiritual nature, but I'm a spiritual person, and I think that you can elevate the workplace, speaking of places, to a higher level and create sacred space among coworkers, especially when you're working towards helping other people be the fullest and best version of themselves. Anyway, so this is the quote. What is place? The connection between human beings and the places we find ourselves in is reciprocal. One reflects the other. The places where we live and work and play and gather and gather shape our levels of happiness, productivity, distress, comfort, and tranquility. Everything about these places, from the quality of the air and the light, to the colors and textures, to the level of noise and the degree of inspiration, influences our capacity for thought, rest, and relationship. And it's a perfect time of day, actually. I read this, believe it or not, before silently to myself in preparation, but was where they mentioned light, because our apartments, we're lucky, both of us, to be on the 5th floor, and we have a beautiful western view. And I guess this is sort of a soft golden hour this evening, but the light is always lovely at this time of day in these apartments, and that's a very comforting thing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to shape the conversation a little bit about place, recognizing that we'll probably, as always, have similarities in what we have to say about these things and some differences that have helped to create the two very unique people that we are. So think about a new place you visited at some time in your life that really moved you or that you felt really good about. And see if you can remember that first experience, when you saw it for the first time. How did you feel? How did it make you feel? You want to start?
Well, I just remembering the first trip I ever took out of Minnesota was when I was probably 10, 11 years old. My sister and one of my brothers, the three of us took a train trip up to North Dakota to a farm of some relatives of ours. And I had never been on a farm. It was a big wheat farm. And so that was a real new experience for me to be on a farm. I think we stayed there about a week, and they had a lot of cows and chickens, and they ate a huge meal at noon every day, which I wasn't used to at all. Mm-hmm. And so that was a real new experience for me to have at that age. And
did you say you stayed there for about a week?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
With relatives that I had never met before, but they were good friends with my mother's, really, because she used to go to that farm when she was young. So
Huh. And that was in North Dakota?
North Dakota, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Near, I don't know. Can't remember the town. It was near some small town, but I don't remember what the name was. Northwood, North Dakota. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
never got a chance to go again?
No, I never. Well, yeah, I did. Later in life, we went up there for a reunion once, and that was a good time. I saw some of the people I had met when I was a young kid, and saw them again, and it was fun. So,
Did they have horses?
I don't remember them having horses. If they did, I never rode one.
But cows and pigs?
Yeah, they had cows. It was mostly a wheat farm.
Wheat
But
farm.
they had
said
some
that.
cows and chickens. I don't know about pigs. I don't remember pigs.
You'd remember pigs if they had pigs.
I suppose. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Huh.
And I remember going into town on a Friday night, and that was a big deal for all these people that lived on farms, and there was a lot going on in town, so it was fun.
That's a great memory.
Yeah.
I think farms are special. The memory that comes to my mind of seeing a new place and sort of being blown away from it was I was an adult and I was with a friend and we had set up a place to stay out on the Northwest or on the Washington coast. But it turned out that the place was on a sort of on a canal. It wasn't on the ocean. It was on water, but it just wasn't the same. I mean, we were right there with the Pacific Ocean. So while my friend was working that day, I just drove up the coast to try to find a place to stay. And I came upon this place, Clips, Washington. I think it was you who couldn't believe that was a real name of a real place, but it is. And I found a place, and it was right on the water, so to speak. And it was so fabulous because it was the northwest coast of Washington is not warm. It's not a huge, people don't go there to sunbathe or swim in the ocean. They go there to dig clams, and they just go there to get away from the city, from Seattle. And and I remember then, so I right away took a room for us. It was a place where you had your own kitchen, that kind of thing. And then I walked the beach the rest of the afternoon. And that was a walk that I repeated many, many, many times over the next almost 30 years of going there, staying there, being there for rainstorms and snow and beautiful days. And it was just wonderful. It became my favorite place, really on earth. And the Northwest coast, especially there on the coast, there's no big rocks or beautiful fancy things to explore like at Bannon in Oregon, if you're familiar with that, or even north of Clips at Kalaloch or Ruby Beach for all you Washingtonians out there. Clips is just the ocean and a river and the eagles and the haze and the sun and the rain. It's pretty amazing, and that's my memory of a place like that.
Sounds nice.
It was nice. It still is nice, although there's been a lot of development there. Do you know what happened to your relative's farm?
They may still have it. Some of the
That would be cool.
kids are.
Yeah.
I don't know if they sold it or not. The family, So there were different family members, brothers, who all owned farms up there. So there was at least 4 of them. So altogether, they had a lot of acreage, and so I don't know because I haven't been in contact or anything.
Wow. Well, the next one is about as a child, and so you've talked about that, but maybe there's another place that you could get to more often that was really special for you. Even if it's a made up place, was there some place that you went to or could go to as a child that made you feel
Well,
good?
I lived in North Minneapolis, and we lived across the street from a big park, one of the biggest parks in the city. It's called Weber Park, and it had everything a kid could want. It had a big pond that froze over in the winter for skating and playing hockey. It had tennis courts. It had area to play touch football, and it had a waterfall, a nice waterfall in the park, and then a creek going through the park. There's a lot of woods next to the creek, and then there was a giant swimming pool uh, that went from shallow to 9 feet with high diving boards, and there was a library. It was and play areas, and then there was they would have college kids come over and kind of uh, run. They had a building over there where they had games, bean bags and different games you could check out and play, and they had benches and tables with checkerboards built into the
Oh,
tables.
cool.
So it was terrific. I can't believe it. And we lived in a very small house, and I didn't really like staying home at all. So
Mhm.
I spent a lot of my days over in that park. It was just great for me growing up. So
Mhm.
that was my favorite place.
Yeah. I I like it because, well, we drive by there frequently,
Mhm.
and I get to be where John grew up and hear his, talking about the people who live there and this park looks so beautiful. I've never walked in that park, but we should do that
Yeah.
sometime. I think for me, and it sort of mirrors what you said initially about the farm. That was my special place where my aunt and uncle lived. It was a family farm in my uncle's family, and it was like the perfect escape. My aunt and uncle were wonderful people, and farm life is just something that, well, it's just an amazing thing. It's so different from the way any of us live in the cities or the suburbs, or, it's just a whole different way of life, like you said. And whether it's eating the big meal at noon or just, they did have pigs and they had milk cows. And I mean, that's where I first held a kitten and I was scared of it. So, but it was just a wonderful place where I felt welcomed and safe. And it's completely gone now. You know, built residences or whatever. Every once in a while, one of me or my siblings will say, "Let's try to find a tree or something that we can say that's the farm." And the last time we tried to do that, we couldn't find anything.
It's covered by houses.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. No.
So,
Another um, well, kind of a short-lived but major event was when I was 21. I bought a one-way bus ticket to Denver to move, and I remember, and I had hardly ever been out of the state. I was just in North Dakota that one time, and I don't think I'd even been to Wisconsin actually. So moving out to Colorado was a big deal for me. I was 21, and I remember going through Nebraska and kind of at the western edge of Nebraska, I think it was, where I could look out the windshield of the bus and see mountains, just the Rocky Mountains, and I had never seen any mountains below before, let alone the Rocky Mountains, and they were stunning. I was just knocked out by just the mountains. I loved the view and the looks of the mountains. And I lived out there for 11 years, and I never got tired of looking at the mountains. So that was a big deal because there aren't there aren't any mountains around Minnesota. So
no, well, I think you sort of answered or responded to the next thing I was
Oh.
going to ask about, and that's about a place that just awed or surprised you.
Yeah, that's
And
exactly
yeah,
what that did. Huh.
yeah.
Well,
So did you do a lot of hiking in the mountains?
no, I never did. I never did much hiking. I
Hmm.
mean, we would drive up in the mountains, and there was a park up the top of one of the mountains. It was had snow in it in the summertime. And
Hmm.
we walked around there a little bit, but I did learn to ski. I took up skiing, downhill skiing out there, and so I really liked that and did that. But hiking wasn't a big thing I wanted to do. It wasn't quite as popular then as it is now. I don't think
Yeah.
either.
Yeah. Well, the Rocky Mountains were pretty important to me too, and I worked at camps in the Rockies in between, during my college years uh, in Colorado and then in the Sierra Nevada and in California. But I remember one time really distinctly on a backpacking, we would take the girls backpacking and it had poured rain and everyone was soaking wet. There weren't fancy backpacks like we have now, and people had, cotton covered, sort of canvasy cotton type big sleep bedrolls. And it was, I don't know how we all made it till morning, but the sun sort of came out, sort of like it is right now, breaking through the clouds here in Minneapolis. And we're hanging everything in trees and stuff. But that's when I saw the Purple Mountains majesty. It was just the right combination. I mean, the view from Denver of the Front Range is always breathtaking, but being in it and then in this bedraggled situation, and then I knew that verse. I heard that. I saw that. It was a powerful experience.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think everybody should buy a one-way ticket to Denver at least once in your life, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to be young because I did it too at 22. Oh, I think my computer just died. Anyway, is there any place if you could go back that you'd want to go back?
Yeah. Well, the first time I ever flew on an airplane, I was living in Denver, and my girlfriend had moved from Minneapolis to San Francisco, and so I went out to meet her on, I guess it was the day before New Year's Eve in 1967,
Oh,
and I got a real late night flight, close to midnight, to go out to San Francisco, and I'd never been on a plane before, and so I got on there, and it wasn't very full, so that they gave me a seat in first class.
Oh, nice.
I got spoiled. That was the only time in all my life I ever rode in first class. But my first plane ride was first class to go out there, and my girlfriend and I were going to get engaged, so that's why I was going out there. And so it was a great, and I loved San Francisco. I have asthma. I've had it my whole life, and I got out there, and it was the weather was strange out there. It was misty, real misty, like almost water in the air, and it was cloudy. It was damp and cloudy. And I thought, when I first experienced that, I thought, oh man, I don't think I'm going to like this at all, because Denver's very dry, and but I could breathe better out there, and I just loved it out there, really. San Francisco. So, I was back several times over the years, but I still remember the sort of surprise I felt at how comfortable I felt out there and how much I liked it out there. So,
yeah, it's sort of mystical. I remember the summer I was going to work at a camp in California. I initially went to San Francisco, and that might have been the first time I was there. And it was that mistiness, and the people that I stayed with, maybe it was in Berkeley or something, sort of up high. And I don't know, it was way cool. way
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting. If you were gonna write a movie or film a movie, what would be your place to have it? Do you think?
I don't know. It kind of depends what the movie was about, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a lot of places around Minnesota. I like Duluth, Minnesota. An interesting place, and some of the smaller towns up in northern Minnesota. And I like in Colorado. There's some great towns up in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
I worked a lot in Aspen, Colorado, and that's a beautiful place. And it's an old town. It's not. Some of the ski areas were just built to be ski areas, like Vail, and that was relatively new. I think it was built in 1960, somewhere around there. But Aspen was an old silver mining town. So you had these old Queen Anne houses in the actual town of Aspen, and surrounded by mountains. It's just a gorgeous little town. So I think that if it wasn't for all the people who have moved there now, that would be a good place to film a movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is there somewhere that you wanted to go to that you won't be able to go to now in this life?
yeah, I think there's. I'm trying to think. I'm sure there is. I've been to just. I haven't traveled extensively. I was a little apprehensive about flying line distances. Plus, I had a job where it was hard to get away for more than 2 weeks, usually 1 week or less. But I've been to France. I really liked Spain, Madrid, a lot. But I
no
haven't.
place you didn't go that you
Well,
wish
I
you
have never
had?
been to Greece or Turkey or any of those kind of countries, and never been to Egypt or. So I don't know. There's all kinds of places I'd like to go and see that I haven't been to.
One place I always wanted to go is Africa,
Oh,
and I thought I'd go there,
yeah,
but
yeah.
and I do love Mexico City. I love Mexico a lot. Yeah. And here we are at Windrush.
Yes, and almost downtown Minneapolis. Not quite.
If you were going to describe this place in terms of its meaning for you, how would you do that?
Well, I grew up in North Minneapolis, which is on the other side of the river from Northeast Minneapolis. And North Minneapolis was kind of the least appealing part of Minneapolis. It was overall smaller houses and lower income people that lived there. And Northeast was they had more large, older homes over Northeast here. And the prime place was South Minneapolis. That's where all the really cool people lived. Still do. But what was the question again?
How would you describe this place?
Oh, well, Northeast Minneapolis, where we live now, has gotten extremely popular, and it's really popular with young people, young couples, and young singles. It's close to downtown without being downtown. It's close to the Mississippi River, and they're starting to rehab different areas along the Mississippi River, and it's got a vibrant music scene at the bars and outside venues, and I'd say it's. I don't know how you describe the young people that like it here. I don't know. I imagine hipsters is an old
I don't know.
name. I don't know what else you say, but they're smart. They're smart young kids who are little. They're not. They're. How would you describe them? I mean, they're more. They're not. They're not like hippies or anything, but they have more. They're not on the corporate track for the most part. But they're successful.
Right. More like artists
they're
and
artists,
musicians. Yeah, that's right.
A lot of them live here, and it's a real mix. There's some beautiful old homes here, and a lot of the people stay here. And some of the people are still, people older, as old as I am or older, are still living in their old big houses over northeast here. And the prices of real estate northeast have gone crazy in the last few years. So.
And a number of people in our building here actually grew up in Northeast.
Oh yeah, a lot of them
Yeah,
grew up and went to
yeah,
high school and stayed here.
yeah,
And some of their kids stayed here. You know?
yeah,
So, no, that's a great place. I like it.
yeah, it is. Well, that's it for places.
Yeah.
Think about places you've been and how your experience with those places has shaped who you are today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to do that. I
Yeah.
haven't thought of some of those places for a long time. So.
Yeah. And I forgot you'd been to a farm because that's interesting that farms were important to both of us in different ways.
Yeah. Oh, I'd heard my mother talk so much about because she loved that farm, you know, because she used to go up there when she was a kid. And so she had talked about those people, and I had never met them or didn't know anything about it. So it was really nice to go up there and see the farm and the little town and all the people.
Yeah, cool. There's so many more places that have shaped our lives. We'll probably come back to this at some point because we have more stories and more places to talk about. But thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good
Appreciate
weekend. And that's it for martinis and musing. No martinis, but a little bit of musing. Amusing. Are you going to sing?
Oh, well, I don't think so.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
So long.
It's been nice to know you so long.
It's been good to know you so long. It's been good to know you. I've got to be traveling on or something.
Adios.
Bye. It's done.